Hey guys, Coach Hug here, and here we are with another lesson. We're going over defensive chess again, and this is going to be like a in-depth of a game, but we're only going to really look at like snapshots of it. I'm going to go over 5 puzzles, scholastic team. I hope you guys enjoy and learn from it. I'm going to do the waiting music, and after that, I'm going to go over some of what maybe were some of your guys' thought processes or moves that you guys looked into, and then I'll say solution, and then I'll give the solution. It goes from difficulty again, and yeah, here we go. This is the first position, and we're basically down upon as black. You know, we see we have 1, 2, 3, 4. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have a queen and rook, and they have a queen and rook. And I would say king safety. It's it's somewhat both dangerous, right? And I want you guys to try to find the best move for black here to defend. And here we go with the waiting music. Doo 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 doo. By the way, during the waiting music, you could pause the YouTube video unless you want to hear the whole waiting music. But yeah, so let's see what some of you guys' thought processes may have had. Maybe like queen f5 was an idea, or queen d8, or all these ideas. And it's I think there's certain things to consider. I mean, one is that like if you give white a free move, it's kind of hard to find a move that black can really do. As like giving away moves. So let's say they do like we do rook b8 or something. They're gonna try to come in like here, and that's just already we're about to get made. We can't even go on this file. We have to go here like f5. It's not fun. We're gonna get mated. So we can't really give a throwaway move. And if we go queen f5, let's actually go through this continuation. They go queen f5. We take. They already have a rook that's like way more active than us. They're just gonna develop as fast as possible. We can even put on the engine on this one. They're probably gonna give like like rook g4, just close off the king even more. King e2, and I know it gives it only like a 0.79, but this is definitely harder to play. Now if we go through like the actual move, the best move to have like more play in this position is queen c3. And the reason why is we were always scared of this queen b2 check, right? That was going to come in. We're centralizing our queen, and we're maybe threatening some nasty action with rook d8. And the biggest thing is this is the central idea I want you guys to know is that we're preventing them from checking, right? Like, thankfully they had no check because of this pawn. They had no check along this rank, right? And now they don't have any checks here, and their king is really not happy here. So yeah, this was the first solution, queen c3. Now let's go to the second puzzle. If I can get it, my bad. There we go. So yeah, we're basically in the same position, right? Like they've gone skipping the moves. They've like gone king e2. We went like rook d8, or actually, you know what? It was probably I think rook g4. We went rook d8, and then they went king e2, and now it's like our move. And we're back we're still defending. This is the same position, and we're trying to find the best move to defend here. And I know I have some of the hints there for that one. I think the hints were look for forcing moves, try to look 3 moves ahead. I think I was trying to think of anything else that was in this. Yeah, like look at the combination of those strengths of that queen and the rook. And so yeah, waiting music. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay, let's go through some moves. And again, I'm using the engine slightly for some of these, but I just want to show you guys why some of these moves don't work more thorough with the engine. So let me just figure out a move here that black would play. Yeah, because honestly, I was thinking of queen c2, right? So like, let's say we go queen c2, and like it gives us some lines. They go king f1, and they're very safe along this file. Like we go queen d3, they go here, we go here. This is still kind of tough to go against, and like this is just never enjoyable for black. So like, let's say we go here. This is never weak because we can then go a4, and this is again very hard to play for black. But if we go back, turn off the engine here, let's actually try one other line, then like queen d. Let's say we try. We're gonna lose this pawn pretty much. We tried queen there. Yeah. What about queen d2? Right? Like, I mean, this has to work, right? Oh wait, they have the same idea with queen king f1, and really it only likes queen d3. I mean, no other move really works here. Like we can't even go. We literally have no rook move, and it would just be trading the queens that would be the best move in this. So if none of those moves work, right, then we have to go with what I gave off hints and look through it. The solution is rook d2, and this is actually very, I think, very helpful. Is that what you're seeing is we're trying to get our rook and our queen to the best square to make sure if they go to this like king f1, king g2 idea, at least our queen and rook are the most active and giving the most activity and pain to white. And so, basically, white can't do this, guys, because why? Check. And then with this discovered check, we would win the queen. So they can't do king e2, e1. So they'll go with what every move they did in the other line, which is, sorry, king f1. So now we have to look at what move would we really do here. Well, queen a1 is an idea, but if we want to be more forcing, and we can always do this queen a1 after, I like rook d1 first. We really want to get this rook to this file first, and then after king g2, then we do king a1. And let's say we do a throwaway move. They're not going to do a throwaway move, but let's say they do a throwaway move. Check here, check here, mate, right? And then let's say they did, after we checked, they went here. I have to, let's see if I'm right. We would just go rook g1. They can never go king h4 because then we go rook xg4, and we're just gonna have enough perpetuals. And this engine is kind of wrong on this one, saying that white has more here, but they really don't. And yeah, so this would be pretty good for black, or this would be the best solution that we're gonna get as black. So yeah, that is for solution. We had solution 1, queen c3. Solution 2 was rook d2. And now let's go to the third puzzle. Hope you guys are keeping up with me. I know you guys are excited to play some Bug House or some Blitz or Hand of Brain or stuff like that. But yeah, let's try this puzzle. And then this is from previous in the game. And this doesn't look happy for black here. Basically, black got a piece, right, for 2 pawns, and king being out in the open. It was basically a sack on f7, and basically black has to deal with this queen rook discoveries. And I want you guys to try to trust your intuition on this puzzle 3 a little bit, and then yeah, let's do some waiting music. Doo 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 doo. Okay. Unpause. The solution is queen d5, and really, it kind of comes to you when you first think about it, because you're like, okay, well, I need to like defend my king. So the solution is queen d5. Let's actually go through some moves that just don't work. So we'll throw this off. King g6. I mean, it looks horrible, but then just like rook c3 and like I mean, not even rook. That's such an engine move. But like we never want to go king g6. Like we never want to bring our king more out in the open. Let's say like a non-computer move. Let's say we did king g8. If we go king g8, then they go rook xc6, and they win their piece back with a lot. So really, the only move to play is queen d5. So why I'm not going too in depth with this is because the fourth puzzle goes into this more, right? So we go queen d5, right? And then everyone was like, okay, but what about knight c3? You know, we're just doing this, and there's nothing that can happen because let's say we go queen e6, they fork us, right? So yeah, I'm going to give you guys waiting music. This is basically we're going in that same continuation. I want you guys to find the best move for defense for black now in this position. Doo-doo, 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 doo-doo. All right. Let's go over some what would we do here, right? Well, let's try the queen e6 idea, right? So we go queen e6. Yeah, it's just it's actually you can go f5 too, but d5, right? And there's really nothing here because after here, then they just go dx e6 and they win their piece back, right? And this is just again suffocating. So we have to find another move that isn't queen e6, and it's really hard to find moves. So you look for basically desperation, and maybe even like knight a5. Like let's actually go through maybe knight a5. We go knight a5, then they go rook x c8. They're still uncovering this nice square, and we're suffering. If we go queen here, again they just go here and they're winning their piece back. And so it's really hard to find a move here, and then you gotta just go for something that's really desperate here. So let's maybe think about what could be a desperate move to really try to defend this position. Well, the solution is knight take d4. And this is kind of a crazy one. And I'm going to go in depth with this one. This fourth puzzle and the fifth one is kind of hard to see, but I want you guys to see there are desperate resources sometimes in these situations that you guys will find yourselves in. And so let's see why knight takes d4 works, because a lot of these lines are confusing. Let's say they go with rook x d4. They're still pinning us. They just got a piece back. So they're basically up a pawn, because remember we're up a piece. Sorry, slow down a little bit. We were up a piece. They had two pawns, and that was the material imbalance. But now we're basically in that situation where they're now up a pawn and they're pinning. But now in this situation, we at least trade off the queens, double their pawns, and we go down a pawn, but we have a lot of activity, and this position must look a little bit similar to those first two puzzles that we were doing when things get more traded off. But the queens don't get traded off, so it must have not been this line. So let's look at other lines. Instead of rook take d4, what about rook take c8? If rook takes c8, we do take c8, they go queen x d5, we go bishop dx c5. If they go knight x d4, we have knight e2, and then, so like here, and after king h1, well actually, why can't they go queen here? Oh, we have rook c2, and yeah, so that doesn't work. But they go king h1, we have rook c1, and we have a lot of counterplay, and we're winning. So yeah, so basically that's why those two don't work. And if we I'm trying to think of one other move, knight x t5, we have knight x b3, and basically we're winning this, and they can't really go something like this, because then we go rook x c8, and we're getting our piece back. Either they take here and we win here, or yeah, it's literally the only move they can do. So yeah, basically the best move they would have in this position, and of course guys, they can't go here because then we would just do queen x d4. So this is a very hard continuation to go into, but I just want you guys to see very desperation things if you have the time to sit and try to find it. So yeah, let's go into the fifth puzzle, and definitely the hardest. That was a little bit of eval, but oh yeah, this is because I went in depth with it. Here we go. This is the position as we're black, and this is very hard. I don't fully expect you guys to get this one, but remember the last practice when we were doing fun tactics, I was thinking of like thematic sacrifice. So in that same vein, look at like we're really going for something, you know, desperate. We're sacking a piece, and it doesn't really make sense why we're doing it until you connect the dots of like, oh, we need to do that just to be alive in this position. And so yeah, I'm gonna give you guys some waiting music. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, let's go through some lines. Here, I mean, you hate seeing your position with King H6, and just it looks like it's wide open. And let's say this knight wasn't here, and this bishop wasn't here. This bishop on F4 is just deadly to this king. So it's just not looking fun. Let's do a throwaway move for black, and just see what white can do in this position. It's just completely winning. So they go King F7. Let's say we do no. Let's go for our hardest defense, Queen G5. They now go Queen XB7, and let's say we didn't go Queen G5, and we were like, what? But that piece was hanging, right? Okay, let's say we did here, Queen H5 mate, and there's some lines where, like, let's say we're not going A5, they go Queen E2 and then Queen H5. So they're still going for that Queen H5, and they're going to either get it from Queen F7 or Queen E2. Like, these are the key infiltration squares that they're going for because of how strong their knight and bishop is. And let's say, okay, Tyler, and now I'm seeing that saying it, but let's say we're going to go for something like bishop take e5, because that's another, we just trade off, right? They go bishop x e4, we go g5, and this is because there's really no, like, let's say we don't do anything else, we go like up, then they have a mate in 4, which is here, only move is king h4, g3, king h3, and then queen h5, and this is mate. So it's very tough to find, and so we would maybe have to go into this line. If you guys found this line, pretty much the other line you really could go for, and good on you guys for that, is doing the bishop take and then seeing this. But the best move is, and the engine says it now, is knight e5, and it doesn't make sense when you think about it a little bit. Like, and then you start to connect the dots. You're discovering the queen. You're not letting it get back. You're not letting it get to f7, right? So now it's really only going to go to queen e2. Or let's say it doesn't go to queen e2. We just take the knight. We take this, and this is great for us. And we would continue off here. But let's say they now go to queen e2, because this is again the main ideas that they were going for. We go knight e5. They go queen e2. We find this another crazy move. And this is really another pause moment. If you guys want to, or I'm just gonna speed run through it. So I'll give 1 second to pause if you want to. If not, the move is knight f3, and it's kind of crazy to see, but we had to realize we were up a piece for 2 pawns, right? We're gonna get a pawn back here. We're giving back the piece. Gonna get a pawn with activity. Sometimes you got to give the material back if your position is that struggling with a position. And we know that they were going to infiltrate with queen h5. There was no way to really stop that. Instead of, in case we found knight e5, knight f3. This game has so much like information and so much to gather, and like to see that we basically gain material, lose material, give back material, and it's all this like equal playing field is really fun. Is fun to see, and informational. So knight f3, and if they do gx f3 here, like I said, they're only up a pawn now because of the material, and basically they would have to play on here. And let's say we look at the eval, it gives us that, but they wouldn't go queen d2. They would go like some other move. But see, we have basically our bishops having more scope, and even though we're down a pawn, we're at least surviving a little bit more, and they don't have that like queen h5, queen f7 nonsense. So yeah, those are the 5 puzzles. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I thought this game was honestly these puzzles out of this game were really really hard to find defense, but I thought all of them were really helpful. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Coach Hug is getting out, but remember, I will see you guys next week on Thursday for a different kind of lesson, mainly January. I know we went through defense. I'll have a surprise for the next month in February. So see you guys in February. This has been a fun month of defense, and we'll take a break off of it though, and proud of you guys, and yeah, I will see you guys next week.